That microphone.
Testing. Okay, I'm the very first person that needs to go to Toastmasters. Thank you. So, my name's Kimberly, not Kim, but I get called that a lot. So I'm from Seattle. I relocated here to work. I'm a marriage and family therapist. I primarily work with children at an organization called Tykes and Teens. Many of you may. We've been at the organization's been in the community for 30 years. They are making a big difference, and I'm glad to be part of that effort. And I just got here from Seattle a couple of months ago, so I'm happy to be living in Stewart, and I'm church shopping. So here I am. Thank you.
Oh, well, welcome. Welcome. Announcements. I think Tia has an announcement she would like to make. I won't say keep it brief.
Hi, I'm Tia Breeding. I'm the president of the board, and I want to remind you all that next week is Homecoming Sunday. So, and we picked it so we're welcoming home those people who have been other places for the summer, like in their summer homes. Oh, envy. But, so, after the service in Heston Hall, we will have homecoming food, and Bob had suggested previously that everybody bring a sample of what made you feel like you were coming home when you went home to your family as a possibility. And Stan was able to get a bunch of vouchers for Pizza Hut. Now, I don't know if that's what you went home to, but we're going to have some Pizza Hut pizza as well. Along with that, we're going to have a volunteer fair. So to show some of the committees and activities that you might be interested in signing up for or finding out more about. So that will be happening at the same time. So come, eat, bring some food, and sign up for an activity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have some more announcements. For more details about events, you can go to our website and you will see archived newsletters. Just click on the latest one and you'll see a whole list of events and details. Briefly, every first and third Tuesday, we meet at Poppleton Creek Park at noon for a brown bag lunch, and the park is just right down the road next to the dog park. We have a book club Zoom meeting every Wednesday at 11 a.m. if you're interested, and we discuss a variety of topics related to selected books, nonfiction, fiction. Today and every third Sunday of the month, we will meet after the service at 11:45 for our post-election support group. Next Sunday, as Tia noted, we will have our homecoming fall celebration. Our Social Justice Committee continues to work with the UU of the Palm Beaches to collect products and money for emergency medical assistance travel kits. And Truman just told me so far, we have collected over $200 to put toward those kits. And for a list of all products needed for those kits, you can see the newsletter. The Emergency Medical Assistance Program helps women who need to travel out of state for reproductive health care. Also, there will be an opportunity to help put these kits together, also put kits together for homeless people and Girls Club, and that will take place at the UU of Palm Beaches on Saturday, November 1st from 1 to 3, and I think it's down in North Palm Beach. On Friday, November 7th at 5 p.m. in Heston Hall, we will celebrate Woodstock 56 years later. Bring a beverage and snacks. There will be a band, the Ken Bruce Kai Elva Band. And feel free to come dressed as you did in our hippie days. I don't know. Does anybody save those hip-hugging, worn-out, bell-bottom jeans, or they won't fit, even if you did save them, or tie-dye T-shirts, or whatever we wore back then, love bead sandals, you know. Anyway, that will be, as I said, Friday, November 7th. What time was that? I didn't put is that 5 p.m.? Okay. We will have coffee and cookies today after the service in our social hall. And at this time, I want to give a thanks to the people who help with this service. Sandy Craig is on the piano today and the choir. We had Janet Grote, Tia, Judith Watt, and David Gray helping to greet everyone. Our ushers, John Morn, and whoever else volunteers to get up with him, will be our usher. And our hospitality team, Joanne Leone, Marguerite Gregory, Florence Treacle. And if I missed anyone, thank you. Bob MacDonald. Did I say Bob Donald? Bob MacDonald. So I had Donald on the brain. I don't know why. I know. Okay. Bob MacDonald is in the pulpit today, and the sermon will be Define Spiritual. Okay, now we will have our prelude. Thank you. Sandy, it's beautiful. And now for our chalice lighting. So we light this chalice with these words. We come together as Unitarian Universalists, bound not by creed or mutual desire to please one God or many gods. We are drawn together by a belief that how we are in the world, who we are together, matters. We light this chalice in the knowledge that love, not fear, can change this world. And for our opening words, I am not a visionary. I claim to be a practical idealist. The religion of nonviolence is not meant merely for the holy men and saints. It is meant for the common people as well. Nonviolence is the law of our species, as violence is the law of the brute. The spirit lies dormant in the brute, and he knows no law but that of physical might. The dignity of man requires obedience to a higher law, the strength of spirit. Nonviolence in its dynamic condition means conscious suffering. It does not mean meek submission to the will of the evildoer, but it means the pitting of one's whole soul against the will of the tyrant. Working under this law of our being, it is possible for a single individual to defy the whole might of an unjust empire, to save his honor, his religion, his soul, and lay the foundation for that empire's fall or regeneration. And that's Mahatma Gandhi. And now for hymn number 20, Be Thou My Vision. Now for our affirmation, let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and the service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
The responsive reading, A Common Destiny, by David Eaton, 557. All living substance, all substance of energy, being, and purpose are united and share the same destiny. All people, those we love and those we know not of, are united and share the same destiny. Birth to death, we share this unity with the sun, earth, our brothers and sisters, strangers, flowers of the field, snowflakes, volcanoes, and moonbeams, birth, life, death, unknown, known, unknown. Our destiny from unknown to unknown. May we have the faith to accept this mystery, build upon its everlasting truth. And now is our time of sharing matters of joy or sorrow in our lives. We ask that they be personal and brief, not announcements, not political this or that, personal and brief. And please step to the mic, or if you prefer, shout it out from where you're seated. But everyone hears you, and the people at home hear you better if you're at the mic. Who wants to share a matter of joy or sorrow? If you,
Now I'm being drawn to the mic. Go figure. I don't need Toastmasters. No. I'm just happy to be here and overjoyed that there's a place like this where I don't know if normal churches are forming, but I feel like there's an opening here, and that brings me a lot of joy inside. Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Pat.
To assume I can speak on behalf of all of us, that we give our love and support and sympathy to Bob on his sudden sister's loss.
Thank you. Last week, I had a large gathered family in Troy, New York, and I invited Happy Memories. I got two. I'll say a little bit more about that later. What I really can say is they aren't Unitarians. They aren't used to speaking in church. But anyhow, also this coming Wednesday, my wife, Lori, will have hip replacement. And she's been waiting for that for a long time. So that's this week. We always move a stone for people that we don't say out loud, and we know that there are people we carry in our minds and hearts and family members like that we worry about. And so we move a stone for your concern that you don't want to speak up about. And one for Lori, yeah, good. Are you calling the shots here, Janice? Yes, good. Thank you very much. My reading is 654, a pastoral meditation, we call it. If you want to follow along, it's a pretty beautiful statement by Ralph Helverson. It's called Impassioned Clay, 654. Just follow along with me as I read it. Deep in ourselves resides the religious impulse. Out of the passions of our clay it rises. We have religion when we stop deluding ourselves that we are self-sufficient, self-sustaining, or self-derived. We have religion when we hold some hope beyond the present, some self-respect beyond our failures. We have religion when our hearts are capable of leaping up at beauty, when our nerves are edged by some dream in the heart. We have religion when we have an abiding gratitude for all that we have received. We have religion when we look upon people with all their failings and still find in them good. When we look beyond people to the grandeur in nature and to the purpose in our own heart. We have religion when we have done all that we can and then in confidence entrust ourselves to the life that is larger than ourselves. Ralph N. Hilverson. And now, a minute of silence. Spirit of Life 123, we hum it once and then we sing it once, seated or standing, 123. We hope that people here experience generosity of spirit. We ask people to share their generosity so we can keep on. So thank you for doing that. And now my volunteer ushers, where might they be? Thank you. you, Sandy. That was wonderful. I used to kid churches about taking second and third offerings if things got low. The second offering, as you know, is to support women's needs, and we're doing in conjunction with the Palm Beach UU congregation, North Palm. I want to make several things that would be kind of like announcements, but I'll try to be quick about them. You know that in my office are the art pieces that Pam gave us. They're just kind of spread out. They're up high. They're not hung. They're on shelves. The one behind my desk is not from Pam. That's the only one. But they're beautiful things, and I thought you could see them closer if you just took a look in the office. So it's open, and feel free. It's kind of junked up with a lot of bags of things we brought from her house, including bags of wine that she wanted us to take for the celebration of her life, or concluding that in 2 weeks. Now, Marguerite, do you remember how many bottles of wine there were? No, I never. Oh, I'm glad you don't remember that. So they're there, and I can always say I was away. Anyway, do check out the art. It's really, really beautiful. And next Sunday, we are calling it Homecoming. My topic is kind of odd, but I've been wanting to speak on the topic. So the homecoming will be the food following, and the food following will be things we bring. And my thought was that we would make something from our childhood. And I've reminded you more than once that my grandmother served us chicken dumplings and molasses cookies. One was like a punishment, one was like a reward. So I mentioned to Lori that I've got to be making these things this week with her help, not realizing she was having surgery this week. So she said to me, "Who came up with the dumb idea?" And I said, "I think it was Truman, but I'm not sure." Anyway, and then I realized I can't make it Saturday and then bring it. I've got to practice early in the week and see if it's edible, and then make it again Saturday. So bring what you can, and we're going to have fun. And part of this church and why it's home to so many of us is it is fun. I've attacked people with, "Can you bring this for our Thanksgiving dinner?" The Thanksgiving dinner proved to be a really nice event and a big event the Sunday before Thanksgiving in the other room. So we haven't talked about it. I wasn't at the board meeting. I don't know if we can still do this without her organizing it. We can. Well, the board has spoken. Are you on the board? Yeah, you are. That's right. Yes, you are. So it'll be a team effort, and the team will decide how we're going to get the food here. But I think when you announce food, it will come. And that food is not suggesting that be what you remember as a child, but our Thanksgiving dinner. So that's the 23rd. Also, I've mentioned to a number of people joining the church. And I'm thinking that will happen, or that can happen, on the Sunday before Thanksgiving, bringing in the sheaves. Somehow that sticks in my brain. So if you're thinking about membership here, I'd like to meet with you and talk about it. And it might be that Sunday before Thanksgiving. Now, the last thing in this list is I wanted to be sure that people that want it get our newsletter. And I've been forwarding mine to several people to be sure they get it. So if you're not getting the newsletter and you want it, please put your name and your email address on something and give it to me after the service. And I'll get Jenny in our office to be sure you're on the list. Our Friday update, we call it. Did I forget anything? Was- All right, now what I'm calling a sermon. It won't be as long as they usually are, but you've already had part of one. A couple months ago, I needed to calendar topics for sermons into the fall. I remembered when you rehired me in April 2020, the board asked me to emphasize spirituality. Now, you rehired me after I had been here for 7 years part-time. Then I took 4 years off for a second retirement. And now I'm on year 6 of my second tour of duty. Incidentally, when I went up to Vero UU to wish Scott Alexander a happy retirement, he said, "I hope to do it better than you've done it." But Scott Alexander moved to Washington and became the minister of a church there right away. I really ought to call him and ask him how his retirement is going. So anyhow, you asked me to help the congregation work on spirituality. I noted that, but I did not tell them that in the 60 years I've been studying it, I really haven't figured out what it is. So I relate to the two seekers in Waiting for Godot. I, too, am standing on the corner waiting. Now, there's a new movie in the works of Beckett's Godot, two contemporary comedic figures waiting on that corner. Like a lot of matters religious, I feel surer of what spirituality isn't than what it is. It isn't about another world, in my opinion. It's not a reward for believing rightly. The most important things in life are their own reward. If you have found love, what reward could you get? You got it, and you keep it. The words that capture spirit and spirituality for me are truth and meaning and heart and passion and why be alive and when most alive and mystery. What that priest taught me, the mystery we call God. So Tillich taught me depth, Grund, German, ground of everything. We all have that within. We all have that. And Whitehead taught me its solitariness, what we do with our withinness. We all have that. I've gotten my work papers mixed up here. Did you do this? No.
I just looked, I didn't touch.
Mystery now, for me, includes women, children who are adults, especially the couple I helped create, people who are different, definitely different, but not enemy or less than. But you can think all those things in ignorance. But if you are lucky enough to get to know them, not that different. And we are all better off if we let people who are different, women in my case, adult children in my case, anyone I deem different, anyone you deem different, let them tell me, let them tell you who they are if we want to end up smarter. That's, of course, a choice. I want to tell you about a movie you probably didn't get to see. It was called Eleanor the Great. Did anybody happen to see that? Eleanor the Great. About 3 weeks ago, I heard Scarlett Johansson on Colbert talking about the new movie she directed called Eleanor the Great. Johansson tells Colbert it's about love and loss, grief and forgiveness. Love and loss, grief and forgiveness. So I told my daughters in the Raleigh area that when I got there, I wanted to see this movie with them. They agreed. It came to theaters the week before I got there, and the Friday I arrived, it was gone. It was here in the mall for 2 weeks, and I got back from Raleigh just in time to see it. Eleanor is a 94-year-old from the Midwest, and her best friend, a Holocaust survivor from Poland, had just died. So her daughter moves her, Eleanor, in with her and her grandson in Manhattan. To help keep Eleanor busy, the daughter signs her up for a support group in a nearby Jewish center without knowing the support group is for Holocaust survivors. For some reason we are never told, Eleanor introduces herself to the group with the friend's life story, her friend from Poland who had just died. No one is the wiser at first. Also in the group is a 20-year-old woman who is there as part of her Columbia University assignment, writing life stories. She, Nina, and Eleanor become fast friends. Nina's life story is that her mother died a year ago, and her father, a psych professor at Columbia, has dealt with the grief of losing his wife by distancing himself from their daughters. So she now feels she has lost both parents. Really deep grief. So I'll get to the end and to the gem I thought it was. Eleanor's lie to the group unravels, and she apologizes to the Jewish Center group, and they forgive her. Nina confronts her father with the wall he has built between them. She attends his university lecture, and he is telling his class about the powers of grief and what he got wrong. He says grief has great power to harm us and to help us. It can harm us, it did him, by creating a wall around himself and shutting everyone out. But grief also connects us to the one who has died and to everyone around us, because we all feel or have felt grief and will. And the important thing is what we do with it. And of course, in the end, Nina and her dad reconnect. So I wrote in the update Friday that we might try a circle of helping each other with grief. The griefs we have suffered this year as a congregation and still are, and the griefs in our personal lives. I'm suggesting the first Tuesday of November, the 4th, 11 a.m. to 11:50, what we have learned from grief and what we can teach each other. And I promise we will end promptly at 11:50 for the bag lunch group that's about a block away from here in the park. So spirituality means different things. And we don't have to or want to agree on what it is. You have listened to me. I would be glad to listen to you. Spirituality is our core, our passion, what we have discovered life to be about. And we go on searching because we want our life to be about that. Standing on the corner, protesting on the corner, the bridge, because that's what life is about for us. Our passion, why we lived. When I had to do this service for my sister, Carol, 73, last Sunday, I discovered I didn't know her very well, but I had to talk for a half hour. In the last 20 years, Lori and I, went up a number of times to stay at their home to give them a break from caring for our mother who lived with them. They sometimes went to a nearby motel just for a needed break. So at the gathering, I asked the folks to share briefly a happy memory, something that would make my sister smile, because that's what she would want us to be doing in remembering her. But as I told you, my family up there aren't Unitarians. They don't talk in church or in the funeral home when they're asked to. Fortunately, I remembered an animal my sister loved. It was kind of a national obsession about 10 years ago, a giraffe named April. Does anybody remember that? A giraffe named April. When I would call her to hear about our mother, she would tell me about April, the giraffe, which I was happy to hear about. It was settled, I believe, in a zoo and gave birth in or near Binghamton, New York. The widower, Chuck, my brother-in-law, came out of his grief for a moment to smile and tell us how they drove there, and she loved getting to pet April. And I remember getting a picture of that while we were down here. Spirituality is what we have inside us. Hopefully, we've learned how to be calm when we need that, and the people we love need us to help them be calm. And hopefully, our spirituality also disquiets us, like that epic Robert Frost epitaph, A Lover's Quarrel with the World. When we can't help but fear the world we've known and loved may not be here for our grands and their grands, our UU principles just shout, do something for God's sake. Disagree all we want about what we can do, what we must do, but get to some agreement about what everybody has a right to. Everybody has a right to. Our closing hymn is actually 208. Is that right? 208. And our two musicians, maestros here, will guide us. closing are these words from Diego Valeri, 625 in the back, an eye for miracles. You who have an eye for miracles, regard the bud now appearing on the bare branch of the fragile young tree. It's a mere dot, a nothing, but already it's a flower, already a fruit, already its own death and resurrection. Is there a postlude? So after that, remember to come over for the art and the fellowship. Thank you. Sometimes it's desperation and perspiration. Kim, you did great.